Hey guys, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you with a Pokemon sales data video, and there's not a ton of data to go over today, but there's a couple of things that I want to cherry pick and go over because a lot of movement is happening. To start off slow. We just have one Aquapolis. We had a Blossom first edition. Not first edition. Blossom PSA 10 from the Aquapolis set sold for $15.25. There's not a lot of those around, and even though that's not the first appearance of a Blossom. Blossom was first in Neo Genesis, and that was, I have one of those. They sell for like $300-400, not a lot. So if you want one, this is probably the one to get. Although I think there's a lot of history with that card too, because that's one of the first Pokemon that you could have a split evolution where, okay, you have Oddish and Gloom, and you can go to Vileplume, or you can go to Blossom, and that's just very historic Pokemon with that. That's one of the ways that just they started diversifying in Gen 2. Neo Rev. This is where we get into, we're going to hit it off hard with this. We have the 3 legendary beasts. I remember I spoke about them 1 or 2 days ago, and they were just, why I've always been so enamored with them is because they have this history of being, in the first gen, you have Zapdos, Moltres, and Articuno, and you could, they're just in one spot. You could find them. They're always in the same spot, the exact same spot, every single game you play, whether it's red, blue, or yellow. They're always there. Are they difficult to catch? Yes, absolutely. They're legendary birds. They are very, very difficult to catch. A lot of times, you could have it with a sliver of health left. You could have it asleep. You could have it paralyzed, whatever you want. It is just, it will still shake out of that Ultra Ball. Now, for these guys, the legendary beasts, a new element was introduced in Gen 2, where it's gold, silver, and crystal. What you had to do was not only do you find them in the Burn Tower, but you don't get to battle them there. You get to see one, and depending on which game you Suicune, Entei, whatever, they look at you, and then you have a special connection with that Pokemon, at least your avatar does, and then you have to find them. You can't find them right away. Sometimes you can, randomly you'll spot them, but your Pokemon are like in their level 20s, maybe 30 by that point, because you just defeated Morty, so maybe the one's at like level 30, but they're at level 40. So you don't have anything that's going to outspeed it. So either you can throw a Pokeball or a Fastball or a Great Ball, because you don't have Ultra Balls at that point, and it's very, very hard to damage. If you could try to damage it, and you probably will a little bit. That thing could either mess your whole team up, or it's just going to fly away. It's just going to run away. So what you have to do, it's very hard to catch it early in the game unless you use your Master Ball, which I guess you could, because the other ones you can catch Lugia and Ho-Oh with just an Ultra Ball. But these guys, you really have to get a higher speed level Pokemon and teach it either, Thunder Wave, or if you have a Misdreavus, and you could teach it Mean Look, but you have to make Misdreavus fast enough in order to teach it Mean Look so they can't run away. It's very, very hard, and they're not in one place. You have to track them in the Pokedex. Oh, they're in Shinewood. Oh, they're in Ecritique. Oh, they're in Mahogany Town. Like, it is so ridiculously annoying, and it's rude and obnoxious, but it's fun. And why am I talking so much about the games when we're talking about the cards here? Well, I've said before that Pokemon cards will be similar to comics in that eventually you're going to say, oh, this is the first appearance of this Pokemon. And I'll get to that again with another Pokemon, but right now focus on Legendary Beasts, Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. All 3 of these cards, they are introduced in the TCG in Neo Rev set, and they're extraordinarily hard to grade. And Raikou and Entei both have first edition PSA 10s. There's only 30 of them. Suicune, there's only 29. These cards have not sold in years, at least not publicly. Not on eBay. Maybe some have changed hands privately on like Facebook Marketplace or Instagram, wherever. But this is the first one that we've had in years. The last one's sold for less than $1,000 each. Raikou, first edition PSA 10, again, Pop 30, sold for $10,100. Entei, pretty similar. Again, Pop 30, $13,000. Suicune, and Suicune's the cover. Like, it's on the cover of the Crystal game, and it sold for $9,600. So it sold for the least, maybe, which I'm not sure why. It's great artwork, but Entei obviously seems to be the most popular at $13,000. Maybe because he had a very, very large appearance in Pokemon 3, the movie, the one where Charizard comes back. That was Mystery of the Unknown. Again, very good movie, but there's a lot of history with these cards. There's the great artwork. They're very hard to grade. They're exceedingly rare. So these, I've been saying they're undervalued for a long time, and I even mentioned it a couple days ago. Are they worth the 10 grand, $10,100, and $13,000? Well, at the end of the day, they're worth what people are willing to pay for. And some guy has a Suicune out right now. He's just, I guess nobody knew what they were worth. On Instagram, he's like, okay, I saw this one sold for $9,600. I'll sell mine for $9,000 right now. Maybe he has other cards that he wants to get. Maybe he just doesn't have that special connection with Suicune. But again, this is the second generation, and these are the legendary beasts of that generation. So it's and the theories behind it as well, that they were all there were a Jolteon, a Vaporeon, and a Flareon beforehand, and then Ho-Oh gave them life, and that's what they became. It kind of makes sense, but I'll go over that theory another time. This is just absolute record-shattering price points, and it's something that you should pay attention to. Again, you can go into the Neo Rev set, you could buy a box of it, and these cards are so hard to grade. Most likely you'll get all 9s. You could pack fresh from there, never been touched. They'll be off-center, they'll have print lines on them. Same thing with Neo Genesis. Speaking of Neo Genesis, we had a Lugia First Edition BGS 9.5, and the only subgrade that was below a 9.5 was the centering. And that's what part I care about the least. I care about the surface. But the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bids were $8,000, $8,500, $8,600, $12,000, and the final price point was $12,100 on that. Record price point for the BGS 9.5. Again, I still think that's very undervalued because that is the mascot of not only the second movie, it's on the cover of Silver. That is what Mewtwo is in the first generation. That is the Mewtwo of the second generation. And there's, what, 1,200 of those, in the pop report? At least for PSA. BGS is a little bit more, but not that much. And especially if the 10 last sold for $126,000, this is a little undervalued, in my opinion. We have Pikachu First Edition PSA 9. That sold, no, Pikachu. Pikachu's the baby Pokemon. So Pikachu, yeah. So Pikachu, that sold for $511, which is around what the price point has been the last few sales, but the seller had no feedback. So had the seller had a lot of positive feedback, maybe this gets $600, $700. Same with Lugia First Edition PSA 8. I'll catch you later. Peace, Ellie.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, no, that's fine. This Lugia First Edition PSA 8 sold for $22.95, which is around what it's been selling for. But again, the seller had no feedback. So this is something that how much would this have gone up to had the seller had a lot of positive feedback? Even if he had, let's say, 100 feedbacks and 98 of them were good, yeah, I'd still probably buy from someone 98% feedback. Because every once in a while, people just, I don't know, they haven't to me yet. I've always, every single time someone's had like an issue, I've been like, oh, okay, let's settle it like adults. And yeah, so it's fine. So I get a 100% feedback, which I think is most important because obviously, again, anything can happen. You have 100 sales, 2 of them go wrong. You still have a very good accuracy rate, but people just like, ooh, 98%. Ooh, I don't know. So Gym Challenge, we had a Blaine's Charizard First Edition PSA 9. Has not dipped below 2,000, but it's close. Sold for $20.90, $2,090. Okay, remind me, next time I go to the bank, I will get a Blaine's Charizard, and I will just do a follow-up video, and I guess a Blaine's Arcanine as well. And I'll do a follow-up video to the one I had, because people like that. Jungle Set, we have a Sea King First Edition PSA 10, sold for $72. We had a Primate, these are all First Edition PSA 10, sold for $96. Rapidash sold for $96, and a Pharaoh sold for $91. So even these that are, uncommon cards selling for under 100. First Edition PSA 10. If you want them, go get them. That's a good price point. That's very, very affordable. You can take a couple extra hours. You could work a couple extra shifts, do that for a couple times, and you can slowly but surely start building these cards. Ride-On. This is something I want to go over. I'm not answering your ass right now. Sorry. Sorry. Ride-On. It's an uncommon card in the Jungle Set. But I think this card is very undervalued. Now, because it's an uncommon card, there's so many of them out there. I don't even know how much. First Edition PSA 10 sold for $141. That card might be, I think it should be a rare, which it is in other sets like Brock's Ride-On, Gym Heroes, but in that set, it's an uncommon, but it's just so cool. And the reason why I'm saying is because that's one of those Pokemon that it can surprise you with some moves that it knows. Like, if you try to fight Lieutenant Surge in Generation 2, or even Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Gold and Silver Heart. It's Raichu. Lieutenant Surge's Raichu, no Surf. And that's like, oh, I didn't expect that. Rhydon, they had a whole Pokemon episode about it because, the Ash and the gang are trying to get through this tunnel and they can't get through it. So like, okay, let's take Pokemon through it. So Brock takes out his Onix, and as he's trying to dig through the tunnel, it's leaking water, and rock Pokemon water is like, argh! So, or however Onix sounds like argh! Please don't make me a meme. So what happens in the episode is that, okay, they need to drill, and only Pokemon can do that type of job, but all Pokemon are weak to water. They get discouraged by water. So what do? They find a Rhydon that swims, and they're like, what? How does it swim? And I'm thinking, like, my 10-year-old self, like, how does it swim? So they explain in the episode that there's this there's like this little island off the main coast, and it's got such amazing fruit, and they're sweet, and Rhydon loves it. So Rhydon taught itself how to swim. Like, it's going into something that's weak against, it hates, but he does it for the noms. He does it for the food. And that is just so cool to me. Like, that one episode where Rhydon can learn, well, he knows to swim, but he knows surf. So someone asked me the other day, actually, I'm going to show you guys what they, I'm just going to show you the Patreon members. It's my boy Eli right here. He is my first, my everything. So he said, like, hey, what would you do? You should do a segment in your videos saying, what would you do if you had an extra $500 or $1,000, whatever it was. And I'm going to assume he just meant in Pokemon, not in everything else. But Gym Heroes Brock's Rhydon. It is there's 90 PSA 10 copies, so there's less than 100 in the pop report. 3 of them are listed on eBay right now, and the cheapest that you can get it at is $950 your best offer. Maybe you can get them at $800. Now, the last one sold for $850. So $850 to $950, all right, not a small amount. I mean, it's a little bit of an increase, $100. But the last one sold on 20 October. That's like a month and a half ago, almost 2 months ago. So I think this is due. That's something that I think is a little undervalued, because that first appearance of Rhydon, it's an uncommon. Good artwork. I enjoy it. It looks like it's about to run at you, like it's doing a takedown. Same thing with Arcanine from base set. That's literally a legendary freaking dog, and they have it as an uncommon. I will never not be salty about that. So, but then what happens the first time it's a holo and it's a rare? It's Blaine's Arcanine, and it's just absolutely out of this world. It's great. It's one of my favorite cards in that set, and it's a historic card as well. So that's through the roof. I think Brock's Rhydon from Gym Heroes is undervalued in that way, because there's not a lot of them. And you make the argument, well, it's not really that popular of a card. And okay, to that credit, it's not as popular. I think some people are sleeping on it, though. That's just my opinion. If I had an extra $500-800 right now, or let's say if I have an extra $2,700 right now, again, there's only 3 on eBay right now, I'd buy all of them. That's what I would do. If my Trophy Kangaskhan was paid off and I had an extra, 10 grand in the bank, oh, I could buy all these for $2,700? Yeah, done. Just saying, that's what I do. But also, gold stars and shinings are as well. I was having a conversation with other buddy the other day. Base set, we had a De-Evolution Spray, first edition PSA 10, sold for $800. Computer Search from base set, first edition PSA 10, sold for $515. And a Pidgey, first edition PSA 10, sold for $304. I love Pidgey. Pidgey's great. Well, me and my friend Kelly were deployed together in Kuwait, and we had some downtime. I think he got a 3DS delivered to him. I didn't even have my 3DS while we were deployed. I don't know how he got it delivered. I was just playing a ROM on my phone. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's just like, I'm fighting a Pidgey. It was just funny, because we were just in 2 military dudes, lots of stuff around us, and that's what we were doing, playing Pokemon. It's a great memory I have. Kelly, I love you if you're watching this. He's my best friend. From the Rocket, set, we have a Dark Dug Trio, first edition, PSA 10, non-hollow, sold for $153. Fossil. We have Lapras, a pack. We have a pack with the Lapras artwork, first edition, graded PSA 10, sold for $600. Oh, I also sold from Neogenesis a Meganium artwork pack, first edition, PSA 10, for like $835. That is a great, wish I didn't have to sell. I have a for alligator pack as well that I need to sell. Gold Star, we have a Japanese Gyarados, PSA 10, so for $988. Those, that's like, love that. That's a shiny Gyarados. And then I just have a bunch of other Tesla stuff, which I'll go over in the Tesla video. Guys, please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. I showed you my Patreon list. Make it grow. Make Chavez, the real Randy Chavez, the most liked Pokemon page on YouTube, and I'll do so. Every time I hit a new tier, I will donate some more money. Last one, it was St. Jude. So if I hit once I hit 500 subscribers, I'll donate more. 1,000, I'll donate more. And depending on how much I hit, because if the channel blows up and I go from 1,000 to 5,000, okay, 1,500, 2,000, that's like $4,000. So I don't think I can do that. I definitely can't right now, but I'll keep you guys posted. I love you all. Class dismissed.